Hey everybody, it's Robbie. Welcome back to COMUSO's Listening Party podcast, The Best Bits. We did it, everybody. We made it to episode 2. Now we're cooking. Talking about cooking, my god did we cook up a storm this month. The theme was distance, and I have a funny feeling you guys might enjoy this one. So sit back, buckle up, and enjoy.
Wait, we're doing another episode of this? I thought that was like a one-time thing. Alright, anyway. It was a Tuesday, 6 p.m. I think. Jeez. And first up, well, that was Joe Fox.
It's about the distance that I feel from my own personal dream of being a professional musician. So it's sort of specific to social media. So I recently got rid of all my social media, personal and sort of my music pages as well. And I think this is kind of the manifestation of that disillusionment of other people on social media. So yeah, hopefully the lyrics make sense. This song is called Limits by Joe Fox.
Wait a minute, that's my job.
Potential if we don't pull through like we're meant to. So you're one of the optimistic kind, as if I need it.
Holy shit. That was epic. If you ever take that live, I mean, I just loved it. What were you doing on the vocals? Were you singing falsetto, or is your normal singing voice lower than that, or what did you do? I mean, it was like perfect for the song.
It's just my normal voice. Just got a high range.
Yeah, that is cracking.
The vocals particularly had a more prog rocky kind of hair metal sort of vibe to them, but it seemed a lot smarter than a lot of those bands, lyrically. So yeah, that was really cool. I always wished so many of those bands were smarter, so it was really good to hear.
The drums were just incredible. Like, that's the best I've heard you. Is that programmed, or are you playing on now?
It's a bit of both. A lot of it's programmed, and then there's bits where I need it to fit the beat. There's a few bits of pad drumming.
Since recently doing the interview with you Between the Waves, like I've listened to your album that you released. That sounds like the natural progression onto whatever's next. I don't know if that is that the plan, or
one of the things I was going to do was just kind of collate the songs that I'm doing for COMUSO and put them into an album.
That was a pretty good start right there from Joe. But if he ever tries to introduce a song like me again, I swear in all things I will.
So this is a song about my Land Rover, really for my Land Rover friends in my Land Rover club, because there's lots of little touches in the lyrics all about certain things we talk about at Rivet Counting Club.
So just keep running down the road you never want to win. Just keep running.
I felt like this time there was more of a sort of punchiness and kind of rap delivery. I don't know if that was like...
It was to get all those words in, like, differentials.
Yeah, I quite liked it, man. It was,
yeah, a bit Frank Turner. He's very wordy, and he's sort of trying to get all those words in there. But like you say, you've got to make it pretty snappy and punchy.
I liked a lot of the little bits structurally, just like how it went straight from the end of the verse, and like you're almost already singing the chorus. It jumped right into it, and that was really cool. It's something I never do, and I would like to be able to do that. And I really like the bridge, as I said in the comments, and I like the end as well too. I think putting an end on a song is sometimes people just come around to the root chord and then let it ring, and that's the end. And I like that. I like when people make some effort to wrap the song up at the end. So I really enjoy that too.
The next song is about a dog by my dog, Mark. I'm not sure if that worked. I have no idea what I'm doing right now.
Song's about bringing my dog up from Australia. So like 6 years ago, we moved and had to fly my dog all the way from Australia. So this song is kind of about that and the anxiety that we felt around that time. But it took most of the month to get the lyrics to a point where I like them, but I'm kind of happy I got like a bit of a twist in the tail towards the end of the lyrics. I guess production-wise, I'm still just completely crawling out of the muck. I think this is maybe a marginal improvement over previous efforts.
There was no chance of your being left behind. If we couldn't bring you, we wouldn't have come.
Yeah, I just think that was a huge leap for you, dude. I think that was like definitely best so far that you've done.
Thanks, by the way, for the tip on the pop shield. That helped not only getting rid of the pop sounds, but also just keeping me the right distance from the microphone and stuff. So
There was just such great space, wasn't there? It wasn't busy. So plenty going on, but it was really open. There's loads of space to let that story and the vocals come through.
Yeah, that beautiful twist in the last verse actually brought a tear to my eye. And anybody with a dog will understand that.
If you like 80s music, you may like this next one. This next one is by John Lacey.
It's a celebration of how far you can come in a long-term relationship. It's not measured in miles. It's measured in like heartbreak and joy and kids and dogs and all kinds of stuff, ups and downs. And but it is, they say, you know, life's a journey, not a destination. I built the music first, as I always do, and then tried to fit the lyrics to it.
I thought the vocals were fantastic. He's always got, you know, singers in mind to do his songs, but
Kylie, that's
Kylie. No, you can't have Kylie.
Kylie. I'm enjoying doing this very much. What I'm doing with you is what I'm doing with my album or my other music.
Wait, hold on. Next up is Richard Bawden, and he has just submitted his 10th song in a row, which now makes this next song his full album. Congratulations, good sir.
I had the idea of distance being no distance between people, that we put these barriers in place and we see people coming across borders as a bad thing when really we just put those in place by ourselves. That was the idea, and I kind of thought, well, it's quite a simple idea, that it's just stupid.
Tonight, if you're afraid to die, maybe don't come out at all, 'cause we're pouring out of the dreams tonight.
What was on the bass in that section which I wrote? The bass sounded really gnarly. I think it was like this kind of bridge section where you could just hear. What did you put on the bass there?
It was phaser, so I was trying to get a kind of sort of new ordery feel to it. Yeah, I was definitely trying to get a feeling of it being sort of 5 people play, you know, a live band, just angry, very 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, that snare. You know, there wasn't anything too complicated.
Yeah, I thought it was outstanding, Richard. I thought it was brilliant. Well done.
Thank you.
Everything worked well on the same level. It was like a live band was playing, because the sonic elements, the vocal, the bass, the drums, the guitar parts, and everything. It was like they were in a good rehearsing studio and banging it out live.
Next up is Glenn. Wait, Glenn? Where are you, Glenn? Glenn! Glenn! Where the hell is Glenn gone?
I was bursting. I needed a look.
Yeah, I was right. And I was right.
We'll let you off.
I wanted to do a short, sharp, sort of snappy, bouncy one, as if it was like the first song of a gig or an album. It basically it's really short. The first verse is about confusion of childhood. Second verse is about confusion of teenage days, and the refrain sort of lends itself to a little bit of optimism about the future in adulthood. As we all know, that never actually happens, does it?
Being alone when there was nothing but me. Walked on a secret line. Beat the world beneath the butterfly tree.
The lyrics you could almost like read as if some of them are a little bit low in certain moments, but the major chords that you're using on guitar just gave everything this kind of like nice warm lift to the song.
I play the instruments live. I play them myself, and then I record it through an amp into my phone.
Wow. So yeah, on that basis, that's awesome.
Yeah. I think the lo-fi is kind of an aesthetic in its own right. It's very garage rock. I love that kind of, because you really kind of get the spirit of the song a lot more than just the polish on it. You know.
Watch out, everybody, because the bass is gonna get you. Next up is Jared, and my God, did he bring the bass? Prepare yourselves.
So it's from Billie Eilish, I Love You, and it's kind of about like a struggling relationship. And you can kind of hear they're trying to like take distance from each other, but like they can't. But if they don't, like she's basically gonna, like hurt herself. I'm sorry for people with headphones on.
Gave my subwoofer a workout. Yeah, that was really cool. I really love what you did with the vocal.
Appreciate
the way they
that.
kind of phased in and out, and you got some that like really heavy with reverb, some that were very like upfront in the mix. You know, you could tell when a build was coming even before it really hit, but somehow sometimes you like subvert the expectation. It was really cool.
Next up is the one, the only, Jake T.
I feel like this is going to be a great disappointment because if I'm being honest, I mean, I did it just before the deadline. Even I can't remember it.
You don't think I'm alright, you don't think I'm okay. You got it all figured out in your own twisted way.
Yes, I definitely heard the Linkin Park vibes throughout. It was the lyrics in the chorus. I feel like you're talking to what you see, not to me. That fucking packs a punch, man. That is really good lyric writing.
Yeah. I often find that when I'm in the bathroom, I just start singing to myself, and then I just let my brain go off in a random direction, and then it comes up with some really good stuff, and then I scrabble out to write it down.
I thought that was really brave, and it works.
I think what a hell of an effort to do, man. Super brave. Like I wouldn't have the minerals to do that, man. Like I would hide behind something else. I'd chuck guitars in there or chuck a bass line, just smother it so you can barely hear me. But you were brave enough with the mix to bring the vocals to the front. And what you were trying vocally was something that none of us here have possibly even tried yet. So
I wouldn't have the balls for it.
We said about it matching the song. It just sounds more vulnerable, is what it sounds to me when you sing it that right in my ear, and that works in the context of this song. I think it would be a lesser song if you had a polished vocal in there.
Now, closing out night one was Mark Kelly. Here we go, everybody. Mark Kelly closing out night one.
I was on a holiday, and the first part of it came around with just a sort of a thumb pick and a riff and trying to get two ideas together.
I'll keep on walking, I'll get up if I fall. I'll keep on walking as I go further down the road.
Yeah, I love the ukulele. Was it a uke you were playing? Just that extra little twist with the guitar solo was great, but just with was it uke or mandolin or something?
It was a dobro ukulele, so a ukulele with a sort of metal body.
Just picture a few of us sitting around a campfire singing that one. That's the vibe I get from it.
Hey everybody, it's Robbie again. Here are some dates for your diaries. Thursday the 21st of September, our next song submission is due, and it's based upon the theme Money. If you check out the website, you'll also see that the following month's theme has also been selected. And once again, listening parties will be on the Saturday morning and Sunday evening. Over the next few weeks, I'll be announcing more details, but our end of year awards will now potentially be in person at a venue somewhere in the UK. So keep an eye out for more details on that soon. But now less advert and more podcast.
Wait, are we still doing this thing? God, man, this goes on forever, doesn't it? Alright, anyway, it's day 2. I think it was a Wednesday. Time would have roughly been about 6 p.m. And first up was Francis Coop. Here he goes.
Kind of thought of this month's theme as the opening track, if that makes sense. It kind of inspired me to think about an opening track, maybe a lead-off single type of feel for it, in a kind of a neat kind of 3-minute 50-second kind of package, and something that hopefully would get people to be interested in listening to an album.
Maybe something to consider. If your last song is going to be in the same key, you could maybe tie them in. So it's like part 1 and part 2. So it begins how it ends. It's quite poetic, but maybe I like
that idea a lot. I like that a lot. Yeah. And it's been done lots of times, hasn't it? With people have had a themed album, and threaded through either the signature of the melody through the album. It's a very sophisticated way, or kind of bookending it or something.
I like how the song kicked off with the drums. It built in a very nice, consistent way. I think that's one thing that I really like with your songs, Francis, is that you are very consistent and the instrumentation is always clear, as Robbie was saying.
I had a co-write with Matt a while back, done it with Debra and with Ellie and with Jess. And the one we co-write with Matt, it was around a relationship that was in parallel. It never converged. It was always running parallel. And I quite like that idea. So if you're listening to the podcast, I stole that kind of germ of, okay, if someone was in parallel, then you'd need to close that distance. You'd need to converge. And that's where part of the inspiration came from as well.
Making his first appearance at a listening party is Frank McBride.
Without getting too sort of metaphysical, it's really about how we often spend our lives chasing after things that are not really important, in the grand scheme of things. And sometimes we search for meaning, and often outside and external to ourselves. And the distance part comes in because by doing so, we kind of create a separation or a distance, if you like, from really what's already within us. Sometimes we might find that what we're seeking for, we actually already have. And that's kind of really what it's about in a nutshell.
It's slipping through my hand. Take a look around me. I'm not prepared to buy some more.
Yeah, I loved it the minute you started tingling in, and then building, up. I love the outro as well. I struggle with outros, so I just loved it, Frank, mate.
You started off in like the first person, sort of whatever, and on the outro, are you sort of talking to yourself?
Yeah, I think in effect it's really, I guess it's kind of self-reflective.
I think very relatable, very, real depth in there. And I really enjoyed that. I thought the guitar sounded amazing. I think you had some really nice reverb effect on there.
Beginning on all this, it's kind of just lack of experience, really. But now we're getting the feedback. Well, I can start to remedy a little bit of that,
All right, everybody, go grab some tissues, because this one's a sad one. My God, I'm ready to cry. It's Will Lloyd.
It's called Emotional Distance, and it's a complete leap in the dark for me. And what I'm trying to be is exceptionally sad. It's about a relationship breakup. And we actually watched friends of ours go through this. Very, very sad. And no happy ending.
Like a silent storm brewing, we're not quite there. I try to hold you, but you slip away. Emotional distance, leading us astray.
Just got some dust in my eye. I'm just trying to read my notes.
I might just turn my screen off for 10 minutes.
I really liked it. I thought it was really epic. Felt really epic storytelling. I think you've really come on well. There's like loads of things to, like the strings and the harmonica and the vocals. There's loads to enjoy. I think that's my favourite you've done so far. I think it was lovely.
I thought Adele could sing this.
I did, yeah.
That is right, exactly like that sort of thing. I agree with what Debra and Robbie. It was lovely. It was wonderful. Really captivated me. I definitely felt, what is it called? The
emotional distance.
Yes, that's it.
It reminded me very much of a Graham Nash track that he wrote about a breakup from Joni Mitchell called Simple Man.
I thought it was very sort of filmic qualities in it. Soundtrack for film or certain scenes in film.
I'm not crying, I'm just cutting some onions. Oh, God damn it, Will. All right, next up was Debra Murphy. Here we go.
So I started writing it using the first line I'd kept because I thought it'd suit the subject and just wrote around that really. And it's a bit of a nebulous subject. So it's a bit about all those feelings from being, going through lockdown, and still some things to do with travel and stuff which are going wrong, and things aren't quite back to normal. So that sort of feeling of being a bit disjointed. And also when I was writing it, I had COVID again, which I was really annoyed about. And so I wasn't very well. So I had that thing of like hoping to, just wishing I was feeling better and wanting to go out and wanting to do things and just feeling a bit penned in. So it was all about that yearning to be free and being able to get out about and do what I wanted to without any, shackles and having to stay home and things. So that's basically what it's about.
I just like the tone of the voice, really. It was really sweet, but rich as well.
Well, we all know Debra can sing the phone book. It kind of reminded me of a critique of John Lennon way back in the mid-60s. Maureen Cleave used to comment on that Beatles songs were very simplistic lyrically and had very little kind of complication. So he decided to have his next song, Help, had Appreciate, which had 4 syllables in there, just to try to have a bit of a dig back. So, Debra's the only one that can have a 6-syllable word or 2 of them and still sound absolutely fantastic. So I defy anyone to have words with 6 syllables, realistically, statistically. Oh man, that is just...
You've set a challenge now.
I'll tell you something. If
There'll be a badge for that.
There should be a badge for syllables.
Okay, we'll get a badge ready for that. Don't you worry, my friend. Next up is A Trip with Henry Collins.
First of all, I'm really glad that it's I've only drunk half a beer, so I can explain it clearly with, alliteration and articulation and all that good stuff. I had a great month. I had a really amazing month. But I had this sort of crazy idea, sort of partly inspired by the man, Jake T, with his epic last track last month. I wanted to do like a multiple genre thing, experimental track, and literally I got it finished at the very last minute, submitted it, in the last day, which is pretty unusual for me. I like to be early. It's just a bit bonkers. It's like all over the place. It's quite experimental. I didn't really take it too seriously, so that sort of gave me the confidence to kind of experiment.
The center of the universe. Well, that's me.
Well, I'm just going here to there. It doesn't really matter where. Stumble blind, well, never mind. Why don't you just leave it all behind? Walking along without a care in the world.
I love that. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. At the beginning, it reminded me a little bit Tom Waitsy. That's when it first started off. Really fun, but angry at the same time. It made me smile, but it was like, it had teeth.
I had a picture of a dark alleyway with like Tom Waits or Alice Cooper or somebody.
And I love the shift in gear when it went up tempo. And the instrumental, especially the lead. It definitely had a feel of Tom Waits, but Captain Beefheart as well.
Next up is Nigel Davis. Here we go.
Listening back to the podcast, there was one comment from John, Tim's brother, John, who said that it felt quite claustrophobic. And in the moment, I felt, oh no, that's terrible. Oh, I gotta do something different to that. And then listening back to the podcast, it's like, actually, you know what? That's not a negative thing. That's the style of that song. But still, this song is supposed to be a little bit different from that. This is supposed to be the opposite of that. So I wanted lots of space, lots of time between the lyrics, fewer things to say in this one. I also wanted to move it away from being sort of autobiographical or a story about myself or my experiences, and do a story about something else, someone else.
Those are the landward paths. Over and out, without a second thought. Through the sea. Through the sea.
If the Beatles and the Red Hot Chili Peppers got together and they collaborated and made a song, that's what it would sound like.
I think you played great lead bass on that one as well. I agree with Henry. It's probably your best track so far. It's your kind of revolver track, lead bass like Taxman. The kind of the reverse instruments like the End of Rain single. So yeah, I really dig into that.
I really enjoyed the fact that I didn't have a clue what the hell it was about.
I really liked the bass. The laid back groove was great. And the lyrics, which seemed to perhaps be pointing to a deeper story.
Yeah, so Moses and
the journey down the river,
and
promised land, etc.
Yeah, so
got it.
I thought they went a long way. I can write a song about them.
Time to be serious for just one hot second. Congratulations, Paul. This is your 20th song submission in a row.
So I sort of continued from where I left off with the last one. I started with some chords that I've used as my sort of warm-ups for years. It's an existential exploration of the meaning of life by the use of the metaphor of walking through one's lifespan.
When it come in, that piano got me right. I don't know, where your soul lives in your gut. It was just like, oh, so lovely that. Really loved that.
Felt like it had many episodes to it. It wasn't just one part. There was like...
It was constantly changing. Like,
it was evolving, turning into something different.
Meandering. Everything shouldn't sound good because it's kind of out of time or there's fun notes here or there. But it just kind of sort of coalesces together and it sounds absolutely amazing.
I wrote down that I love the lyrics, I like the piano, but most of all that I believe you. It's very believable.
Cool, definitely.
Yeah, you put yourself into it, Paul, and you've been the distance type of thing,
Get your tissues ready, everybody. We got another doozy. You may cry like a baby. I know I did. This one's by Andrew Smith. Here we go.
This one is completely new. And I managed to get the whole thing done in a month, which I was dead impressed with, because I normally take like I'll never finish because I'm just a perfectionist, but I'm not good enough to be a perfectionist at the same time, if you know what I'm saying. I used to be in the Navy, right, and I used to have all these long distance relationships, and they always used to end badly because, you know, when you're young and you've got hormones and you know, the distance, you know, and temptations and things, it never worked out. But when I met my wife, I just thought, oh no, I can't do this. I've got to come back. And I was due to go back and join my ship, and I got as far as Victoria Station and jumped back on the train and come home. I lost loads of money and got into all sorts of trouble. But I thought, I'm not going to lose her. So I thought about distance, you know, when we used to have these long distance phone calls and that sort of thing. And that was the inspiration for the lyrics. So it's a bit of a romantic ballad, really.
On the phone, counting time, 2 hearts beat down the line, miles and miles of ocean, it's so far. Northern star in the sky, burns so bright in our eyes, guide you back to me and mend my heart.
It's like a proper classic love song. I could see someone but Elton could have written that. But also, I think because of the way the lyrics were so well crafted, it felt cool as well. It wasn't corny. If you're still with your partner or your wife, had she heard that?
Yeah, she was quite touched that I said I wrote
it. I bet she
She doesn't like all my own songs, and she's my worst critic, but she said, I like that.
That genre, that sort of style of music can be kind of quite corny and cheesy, but it was just sort of it was kind of unashamedly so that it didn't really matter. It sort of just, you know, it was right to the heart.
That is it. We have made it through to the end of episode 2. Things are happening, people. We are doing it. We're on a roll. Congratulations to every songwriter this month. The standard was through the roof, and it was an absolute pleasure to host both of the listening parties. Do obviously listen to the songs in full and let the songwriters know your thoughts about their songs in the Writers' Lounge. That's what it's there for. Keep an eye on your emails and the Writers' Lounge for more information about the in-person end-of-year awards night, which will likely be the end of January, but like I said, more details will be out soon about that, but keep an eye out for them. Anyway, take care everybody, I'll see you soon.